believe we are currently live. I'm just going to check the CLR announcements. No, it's not. Great. I think we are live though. It's just not coming up on the Discord. But I think we're going to go. Are we going ahead? I'm giving it to George. I think so. Cool. Alright, so welcome in everyone. Jen's in chat. Hello Jens. I am Callum, better known as Gingernut, or better known as Callum, either way. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas to all of those that celebrate it. Welcome back to CLR. We've had a little bit of a break, obviously, over the season break between Season 3. We've started to head into Season 4 now. Sloth, as always, being the great man he is, has done a little stream for us beforehand. That was yesterday, so if you missed that, go have a check in the CLR Twitch. It might end up on YouTube soon enough as well, so have a look there. But, who's this weirdo on comms? Shut up. So, yeah, we're getting in. We've got 14 drivers today. A few more might show up midway through. We'll have a look. For now, you've got me on the commentary box, and we've got a lot of new drivers out on the track today. We haven't seen them in Season 3, so we'll be excited to see them. You'll see a lot of the cars, you know, they aren't actual real cars, so I'm sorry about that, but it will be F1 World cars, but they're still pretty cool. It's still an F1 car, it's just with Jens' horrible artwork on it instead. So, yeah, when someone decides to actually get out on track, we'll have a quick look-sees at them and see if anyone, you know, wants to give me something to talk about. Otherwise, I'm going to have to keep on waffling. Jen, can you go out on track, please, so I can talk rubbish about you? But for now, we are underway. The stream is also underway. And 2 seconds. I hear that my mic is apparently really quiet. Is it quiet? I don't know what I can do. I'm trying my best. I'll just scream into the mic. Jen's still on a loading screen. You shouldn't still be on a loading screen, Jens. You shouldn't be. But yeah, currently we are just waiting for our drivers to go out. What can I say a little bit about Season 4? We're going ahead, I believe it's the 9th. That's the Thursday's tier beginning, the 9th. 6 days away, so it's the 9th, yeah. And Friday tier will start on the 10th. Jens is coming out now, that's great, Jens. So obviously a lot of drivers, we're going to start coming, yeah, there's loads now. They all come out at once, great. So there'll be a lot of drivers beginning to start racing again on the 9th and the 10th. So Thursday tier is going to start us off. And then Friday tier will continue on towards the 10th. First driver on track. Let me sort myself out. I haven't done this. That's very loud. Is it loud on the stream? Not too bad, but it's quite loud. Right. Let's see if I can get this audio sorted. Yeah, let's just get on to it. So, this is Beagle Milan. I believe he's a Dutchman. I believe. I hope I'm not getting that wrong. But I believe he's a Dutchman. He's new. He joined December last year, which sounds really ages ago, but it was only about 3-4 days ago. So he's quite a new boy, but he's come in with quite expectations. He joined with one of his friends, I believe. I think I'm going to butcher it. Kajam, I believe. I believe them two, both friends from Dutch, the Netherlands. So it's a lovely, strong Netherlands, what do they call it, presence here in the CLR. But you know, we love the man from the Netherlands, especially the boss man. He is beautiful. But Beagle Man, as we're not on him, he is driving his first laps in the CLR League. The person who went ahead of him there was, I can't tell because they're all the same colour. Was that Jens? That was Jens. So here is Jens. What the hell is that? Jens, buds, you actually look like a 2-year-old just painted on the car. Kijan. I'll try my best. I'm not very good at pronunciations, as you can tell, as I can't even say the word properly. But here is Jens in a car that is clearly painted by a child. Yeah. So here he is Purple Sector 1, that won't stand, as we know, Jens is quite slow. So we'll watch him as, I believe that's a McLaren? No, yes, it is the McLaren. As he's already beaten Jens, so not a surprise there. Jens has been beaten already in Sector 1. But in that very fluorescent colour, I take back what I said. Jens, that is brave going flat out through there. That looked a bit loose, but Purple Sector 2, obviously the game's broken, always shows Purple Sector 2, so Jens is still slow. I still stand by my comment. But Jens is very brave, blimey. He is pulling that accelerator very hard, and there is a spin. I believe that's key jam, yep, so same as what Jens did, flat out, but it didn't work with the McLaren driver, which I don't believe he's a McLaren driver. I do have the lineups, as we lovely Sloth, as I said earlier, did announce last night. Was it last night? It was last night. And Key Jam is actually a McLaren driver, so he is actually showing us the where he'll be driving in. That isn't the actual McLaren car. That is, I believe, Formula E. Maybe, because it says Neon on it, but Neon. Well, it'd been great if Neon actually drove that car. That'd be funny. But good to see. Good to see him actually in his respective car. This is George Gamer. He's in the McLaren. That is a McLaren car. I believe it's Brazil, but I probably get that wrong as well. Maybe Italy. So that is George. He's going to be a Williams driver on Thursday tier, and he'll be a commentator on Friday tier. If you didn't know, you know now. So George Gamer, obviously one of the most renowned, best drivers you could say in CLR, getting three-time drivers championship now, and I think a 2-time constructors, maybe 2-time. Definitely won once, because I remember being in that battle and losing out on the last round, but we don't talk about that. Yeah, he is very well renowned in the CLR league and very quick driver, so a lot of people should be scared of him. He'll be wanting to go for a 4th World Drivers Championship. Whether he can keep it or not is, you know, up to George, because he's awful as well. Only joking, George, because he is absolutely flying in that McLaren car. Really doing some good work here. As we know, he will always be doing good work. It is George Gamer FC2, and he is the man from Luton who will not back down ever. And he comes round the final corner, activates DRS. On a set of hard tyres, P5, 1.6 seconds off the pace. I'm going to change that to interval, leader even. And yeah, 1.6 seconds off the pace, as there's another McLaren car coming out. Is that Kiam as well? It is just him again. So, we've gone over Jens, we've gone over George. Let's go over below. Below, let me get up the previous standings. I have a couple of notes here. I've been mentioned as well. Esports livery. Yeah, I don't know my liveries. I'm not going to lie to you. I try my best, but I don't know my liveries. So, below, he is racing again this season. Season 4, bloody. It's flown by. He'll be racing again this season. He'll be driving in the Red Bull. He used to be driving in the McLaren. He was in a very tight fight for the constructors. Went down to the final race, as it normally does in CLR. It always goes down to the final race. Very exciting, but they did miss out. So he's left the Red Bull team. He's left Christian Horner, like the rest of them have. But anyway, moving on from that. He's left the Red Bull team and he's jumped to... Actually, no, he's left the McLaren team and jumped for Red Bull. Well, maybe he's done a Liam Lawson. Anyway, as the Red Bull driver, he's scored P4 in the drivers last season, in Season 3 and 4 Friday tier. And it was about, what was it, 100 points off? Just under 100 points off. So he's going to want to be in this Red Bull, very quick car, looking to try and beat the drivers around him. Obviously, it's equal cars, so it doesn't matter, but, you know, Red Bull's still quick. They are Red Bull at the end of the day. Weeby says in chat, new season, new chances. Let's go Baba. So who's Baba's teammate? I don't know. I think it's Skull. I think that is Skull in chat. So I'm assuming Weeby Skull because I think they're teammates for next season. But that is below as he comes across the line on to complete the next lap. He's used a lot of battery here on the hard component tyres, but he doesn't improve from his first lap time. This man here is MJB at 25. Similar to George, he's a commentator for Friday tier and a driver for Thursday tier. That is a gorgeous car, MJB. Blimey. Yeah, look at that. Very nice car, MJB. Big up for that. I'm having a look at a lot of these cars today just because I let the drivers, I told them beforehand to create some nice cars for me, and they definitely have shown up for me. Good lap from Jackboo. I think that's Cooper. I'm going to stick with Cooper, so that's easy for me to pronounce. But MJB is a Thursday tier driver. Last season, He managed to get 4th as well, same as Blow did, but for Friday tier. He just edged me by about 3 points, which is really nice. Whoa! MJB with a very quick lap time, 1:13.3. On a set of mediums, I'm assuming quite a lot of fuel in that car as well. That's quite a good lap time from MJB there, so he's already showing what he can actually do on one of these F1 cars. But MJB last season, he won 2 races, one at Canada, which was round 3, and then he also won one at Azerbaijan, which might have been a bit later on. It was a bit later on, I don't know what round. It was a lot later on, but that was 2 wins for him last season. He'll be looking for more with the all-new 20-round season for Season 4. 20-round season? Yeah, for Season 4. Compared to the 16-round season of Season 3, there are a lot more chances, 4 more chances for MJB to win, but he'll be looking to get as many more good luck races as he can. The man from the Netherlands is quite unlucky, and I think he'll back me with that. So he'll be looking at 2 attempts, as there's a crash of below, I believe. He'll be looking to attempt to get a bit more luck in towards Season 4. Who have we not gone over? That is out on track. Camilu's out on track. Here he is. That's a very nice car as well. That's a lovely car, actually. I think Camilu's beating you, MJB, I'm afraid. I think he's probably got my favourite car at the moment. I like that, like fluorescent purple. Anyway, who's mentioned me again? 2 seconds. So I need an invite. 2 seconds. Who's that? That is Karama. Let me send a quick little message. I sent you an invite. So, who was I on? Camilu. Camilu is a very quick driver. He is a Thursday and Friday tier driver. Last season he got 9th. Quite an unlucky driver as well, having quite a lot of retirements. But he did get a win, I believe, yep, and that was at the Americas, which I believe was Texas. So, it's quite a hard track to be fair on tyre wear. There's a lot of strategy involved. Quite technical as well. So, the man from Poland, I believe, did quite well at Texas. So, he's demonstrated what he can do. And in the season before, which was the F1 24 launch season, he showed us that he can actually be in a title fight, because that was with me. I think maybe season 2 he was in a title fight as well. So, as there seems to be an incident, I think that's why Blow crashed out. I think him and Beagle Milan have crashed on the straight. Oh, Camilu! I am very sorry, buddy, but I have caught that, and that will be on TikTok in a couple of hours' time. I didn't see what happened, but I'm assuming as he came out of the third to last corner, he's just lost the back end and flown to the wall, after I've just said that he is quite a quick driver through technical corners, and that third to last corner in sector 3 is quite a technical corner. But there we go, it happens to the best of us, don't you worry, buddy. Moving on, we have Baba. Baba is another man from the Netherlands, and he's quite quick as well. We've seen him in Thursday tier. He last season, he got, what did he get? 12th. He was in the Mercedes car. He's quite a good performer. He's quite consistent. Obviously, it's not about the getting the high points, it's getting the consistent points. At the end of the day, if you win a race and you retire the next 4 races, you won't do very well. But if you consistently get good point scoring positions, then you know, you're classified as a good driver in my mind. And that is what Baba can do, get consistent results. As he rides that curb, but it's still valid, so that was pushing his limits perfectly. That's a really nice car as well, Baba. What a nice car you've got. I love that halo. Wow, look at that. Well, I've never seen that stick before. I do respect that halo. They're a very nice car, Baba. I do still think Camilu's is better. I'm getting distracted by cars. Anyway, Baba, his best result last season was a 4th place, and that was at Las Vegas. Viva Las Vegas. He got that P4. So we've seen he can do things. We know he can perform. But I don't think he actually retired. Oh no, he had 1 retirement, and that was at Baku. So, as I say, Baba, the very consistent man from the Netherlands, he'll be looking to improve. He has Skull for this season. Skull was a very quick driver last year, where, yeah, I'm joking. Skull was a very quick driver. He was also teammates with him. I believe Skull and Baba are teammates before I'm lying. No, they're not. I lie. I say I lie. Baba is with Kuba. Okay, and Kuba is the person in second place. I'm not going to try and pronounce his name. The person in second place is Kuba. And Kuba, as we're fully aware, is a very quick driver. So, after Bubba spending a season with Skull, who's a very experienced driver, I like to say, he will come with this experience, and obviously Kuba, who isn't experienced in CLR, but is a very experienced driver in general, will help him out, I think, a little bit to try and get some higher points scrum position, as he demonstrates to me there. Kuba setting a very quick lap time. Obviously on mediums, used a lot of battery as we can see, but it's still a very quick lap time and a very nice car as well. I do like that car, Kuba. I do like that car very much. I'll quickly bring Twitch chat back up just to see. Jen's wanting more glaze. No, Jen's. We're purposely avoiding you. You had about a minute to start off with. Oh, Nivi's out on track. Sorry, we're going to quickly jump to Nivi then. So, Nivi in a lovely car as well. That purple and black car is very gorgeous. Nivi, he joined in Season 1. He is a proper OG, as you could call him. He has been racing with us pretty much every weekend. Or it's not every weekend, every week up to Season 4. And I'm sure he'll continue for the foreseeable future. Nivi, he has been in a couple of one win last season. That was Bahrain. That was the round 14. Heading towards the end of the season, he gets his first win in CLR. So he was quite happy. I remember I was in a Discord chat with him when he won that. He was a very happy man. But he's also quite a consistent driver, getting P4s, P3s quite often. So you know he'll be looking for a Season 4 where he can perform. Looks like he's on a long run at the moment. Either that or he's just set a very poor lap for what Nivi can do, but I believe that's a long run on hard tyres he's doing. Obviously, this is a practice session, as we're going to call a pre-season test, as we're then going to go into, which is the pinned comment in chat, a short qualifying, which is 18-minute session, and then a 35% race, which around Spain, I believe, is around 22 laps-ish. So, as Camilo ahead has spun again, we're going to quickly jump off Nivi. Camilo is definitely testing the waters at the moment as he rejoins and jumps to the right of the track to let the two McLaren drivers past. Yep, there goes the two McLarens, which is George and Kijam past. So, Camilo having a couple of incidents, but he is still getting there. As Nivi, we'll go back to Nivi. He is a Brit / Sri Lankan man, lovely guy. If you ever get to speak to Nivi, he will just be lovely. He's just Nivi and he's a lovely man. So, as he sets bubble sector 2, I just said he set a poor lap time, but he is coming out to prove me wrong, as the beautiful car of Kuba in the purple car is ahead of him. He's going to get probably a nice little bit of a tow through the final corner. If he does dump on the right and he does go into the pit lane, is Nivi going to prove me wrong? Probably. Is he probably going to set quite a good lap time here, as he burns quite a bit of battery and improves by about a second. So yeah, Nivi hears me in the commentary box saying that was a slow lap time and goes, stuff you Callum, I'm going to set a really quick lap time and destroy it. So there he is, up in P7, and he'll probably go quicker even more, because that's what Nivi does. He gets quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker until everyone goes, how is he that quick? Right, who have we got next? Dino Stan. Dino Stan, he's another youngster from the Netherlands, but he has been in CLR for quite a long time now. He joined, I believe, Season 3, beginning of Season 3? Maybe F1 24 launch season, but that means he's been here for about a season and a half. At most, but he has performed last season in the Thursday tier. He got P14 in the drivers. However, it sounds poor, but the man missed a couple of races and he was getting better. He started off with a couple P10s, T12s, and then near the end of the season he got a podium. So Dino Stan has gone from, you know, your normal midfield fight driver to quite far up. At the moment he is in P5. So he's just proven my point that he has improved massively over the last season and a half. And I don't think... I do think he will improve even more. As I said about Nivi a minute ago, he's got even quicker and has chucked it on 3rd place. A couple of soft runners going out as well now of Kuba and MJB, the front two. And we'll see if they can set any quick lap times. Yeah, there's Dino Stan flying down, going onto our hot lap by the looks of it, burning a lot of battery. Next up, there's a lot of drivers in this section of the track, but we have Jazz Boy. I'm going to say Jazz Boy. We'll go with just Jazz, as I believe he's just run quite wide, as yeah, there was a lot of drivers there. Maybe a small incident has just occurred. Maybe a little incident has just happened, as MJB is saying hello in chat. Hello MJB, how are you, bud? He's out on track at the moment, so he's probably not going to be able to respond, but I hope you're doing well. So, Jazz, he is a Thursday and I believe Friday tier driver. I will just confirm my idea. He is. So he's been a long serving driver in CLR as well. We've got quite a lot of I'll say experienced. quite a lot of experienced drivers in CLR that have been here for multiple seasons. So, Jazz, he, last season in Thursday tier, actually no, he wasn't in Thursday tier, he was just in Friday tier, my bad. So, the man from America, I believe he's from America, he did Friday tier last season. He's the same as Babar, actually. Very, very consistent driver. It might not be high points, but he's getting P7s, 8s, 5s, 9s. There's some good points. In CLR, obviously, our point system goes down to P12, as here he is trying to get a bit of a toe behind the car ahead of him, as they're quite clearly out of the way there, but, you know, he will take the toe, I'd say, but even though he was well off the racing line, he will take that said toe. So, Jazz, as we're riding on board with him here, he's flying. He's another driver, I think, to watch out for in CLR Friday. I'm sure that, as he goes purple sector 1 as well, I'm sure that George and MJB will have a pleasure of a time commentating over Friday tier. I'm very excited to do Thursday tier with a lot of quick drivers this year, and a lot of OG drivers to talk about, honestly. I know most of them. I like to call myself a bit of an OG myself, so I do know a lot of them. And it'd be nice to talk over them instead of racing side by side and destroy them on track. I've given them a bit of a chance for this season, I believe. That's what we'll do. As some of you know, Sloth, he used to be the CLR Thursday commentator, but he's been sacked because he was awful and I've taken his job. I'm only joking. He's a bit busy, he's got a life unlike me, and I can be here more than he can. He might be joining me a couple of times. If he's free, he'll join in with me and we'll have a good little yap session on the commentary box. And you lot can listen to me waffle over Sloth, really, if you're lucky. Anyway, moving on. That was Jazz we've just gone over. Race Brower, he is in. Let's have a look. I can't see his car. It looks like a Kick Sauber. It is a Kick Sauber. Or very close car to a Kick Sauber. I respect that. It's a nice looking car, him. So, this is Race Brower. He isn't doing Friday tier this year, but he is doing Thursday tier. Last year, in Friday tier, there's a lot of Thursday, Friday tiers. Last year in Friday tier, last season Friday tier. Race Brower was the World Drivers' Championship and also the World Constructor Championship alongside Chazza, who isn't here today. But Race Brower was the World Drivers' Champion. He's a quick driver. He's one that you want to watch out for, as there's a very nice car on board as well. So, Race Brower, he won 1, 2, 3 races in Friday tier last year, and that was at Saudi Arabia, Portugal, and Belgium. He's a quick driver. People will be scared of Race Brower because he is rapid, and he will continue to get even more rapid because most of our drivers seem to improve quite rapidly. Also, in towards Thursday tier, there was nothing to be sniffed out there. He just about missed out on another championship, but obviously the man at George, the man from Luton, just about edged him and got that P1. He would have been fighting hard for it. And obviously George, with the final race of the season, winning in Qatar, George showed that he isn't here to be sniffed at. So, as Race Brower actually does pull into the pit lane there, as we're going to quickly have a look, and he's the car on the right side of your screen. That is him with his pit crew sorting himself out for probably one final run of the session before qualifying. But Race Brower, even though he got second season, he actually got 4 wins last season in the Thursday tier. So, it was quite close, and he actually got more wins in Thursday tier, and he won in Friday tier. But that just shows how close it is in both tiers. It doesn't come down to wins, it comes down to consistency. It's not like Race Brower wasn't very inconsistent, getting multiple podiums, and his lowest position being 12th. And that is still a point-scoring position. So the man from the Netherlands isn't a man to be, let lightly around you, because he is quick, and he will win if the option is there to win. He will not sniff it away. As that isn't actually Race Brower on the bottom right of your screen. I think he might be the one next to him, actually. So I apologise. That one that just came out was Kaijam, I believe. Anyway, just because he asked, and I've just seen him pop up into second place. Jens Jordan Hull, my teammate for Friday tier next season, has just chucked his awful colour car in towards second place. If he can do that for me on Friday tier, maybe a bit more respect to be between us both. He's a lovely man, lovely guy, Jens, as he is flying through. The man's very confident through corners. That'll be why he spins so much, because he is far too confident on track and off track as well. But P2, 1/10 off of MJB. There's a lot of quick drivers out here. Obviously, you can see on the left side of your screen on the timing. There he goes. Oh, not Renz. It is Jens. He's nearly spun. That's more like it, Jens. That's what we expect from the man himself from the Netherlands, spinning and as a car rides right over the top of us on that curb. just avoiding Jens, who was in the grass and gravel where he belongs. Lucky Jens, as he can save up some battery, save a little bit of fuel, and go for another lap. As Boomba, let's have a quick look at Boomba, because I don't think I've spoken about him yet. He is a new member to the FIA, including Jens. Two boys that have joined the FIA purely from a little bit of experience, a little bit of trustworthiness, and just lovely guys. So they've been added to the FIA team from our man Sloth. So, Jens from the Netherlands. Jens is not from the Netherlands. I apologise. Jens is from Denmark. Close enough. Yeah. Jens is from Denmark. So we love Jens. He is the Danish man, the Great Dane, as our other Friday reserve that no one actually talks about commentator likes to call him, the Great Dane. But anyway, we're moving on to Boomba. Boomba, I'm going to check what Boomba nationality is before I embarrass myself again. I believe it's Polish. It is Polish. So yeah, he is he is a new FIA member, not a new CLR driver though. Boomba last season, I believe, competed in both tiers. I've said that for a lot of drivers and got it wrong, but I believe Boomba was one that competed in both tiers. Let me just check. Yeah, so he competed as Aston Martin, so the teammate of George Gamer, as he jumps in the pit lane. He competed as a teammate with George Gamer, get there eventually, in the Aston Martin, and he got P13, so he had a couple of retirements and a couple of podiums, so not very consistent. So he'll be looking in towards season 4 to be a bit more consistent as that. I don't know if anyone else saw that, but if you looked at the centre of his car, one of the things that helped slide the car along the ground has just magically put himself underneath Boomba's car, so Boomba's clearly taken hacks in for next season to make himself a bit more consistent with the roller underneath his car. I'm sure he's not, but if you saw that, it was quite funny to watch, as that is him in the pit lane. Stay on him, please. There we go. So, in Friday tier, which I believe he was in the McLaren. No, he wasn't. Yes, he was. Alongside Blow. And them two were the ones that were fighting Alpine of Chaz and Braceborough, but they just got edged towards the end of the season. Boomba and Blow, both drivers not to be sniffed at, as again, Boomba had a bit of a more consistent season in the Friday tier than he did on Thursday tier, so he'll be looking for consistent from across both tiers in towards season 4. As Nivi, I didn't even notice him, but we did speak about him early in the season. He gets quicker and quicker and quicker, and he went from 3-4 seconds off the pace to 2 tenths ahead of everyone else. So he has just retired in the pit lane and said, I'm done here, everyone. I've shown you what I can do. I'll give you all a chance, shall I? So P1 Nivi at the moment. Let's see what everyone else can do as they strap on a set of softs. Everyone else coming into the pit lane, emptying their fuel, strapping on a nice fresh set of softs, remembering to save some for qualifying, as we're not doing a lobby restart before anyone asks. We will just continue on from practice. So if you used all your tyres up, more for you. Pretty much. So who have we not spoken about? I think there's only a few left. We did do Beagle Milan. We'll go over. I'm going to butcher your name as well, I'm afraid. Kuriyama? I'll say. I'm sorry, I have no idea. I'm gonna say Kura just because I'm gonna shorten it, and that's close enough. I don't want to say my name too wrong too many times, as I can not normally say English words alone. So I'm gonna say Kura. Yeah, I'm gonna say Kura. So that is Kura. So Kura is the man from America, alongside his boy Jazz Boy. He's a new member as well, so he's joined a couple of days ago actually. So he has signed up as a Friday tier driver, so he'll be in the V-Carb into season 4, trying to show everyone what he can do on track for the first time on tarmac. Goes a little bit wide there. I think he is on an out lap, so he needs to charge up a little battery and go for another probably warm-up lap before he goes for a hot lap, and then he'll show us what he can do on the tarmac before season 4 begins. I'm going to quickly bring up the Twitch chat, as Jen is probably going to be asking me to look at him. Rain on track. Is there rain on track? There might be. I can't see any rain. I think Jen's might be watching the sky too hard here. Maybe a little bit. I can't see it on the halo. There might be a little bit of rain coming. We'll see towards the race even. Very little, not very much. A few drops in the sky. So it's not going to be enough to affect the drivers, but maybe in towards qualifying it may. Right. So yeah, Kuriyama is going to be showing us what he can do as he is flying as well. Like the Great Dane likes to fly through corners, so is Kuriyama. And that is your entire grid that has attended in towards the pre-season for Season 4. So they'll be doing their final laps in practice as they go towards qualifying. So who will we look at? Who do we think is going to set an impressive lap time? It is normally Raceborough that pops up at the end of this end of the session. So here he is, stuck behind a car which he's not going to be happy about. They go very close. Ooh, I'm not sure who that car ahead is. I'm not sure. Is that Camilo? No, it's not Camilo. It's a grey car. That was close from them two boys. I know one of them was Raceborough. He's not going to be happy about that. That was very close. But here we are. Raceborough is going to go for another lap, as he did get held up a little bit by that car. I am going to double check who that was, just to make sure. It looked like it was Kuriyama, so he was also on a hot lap. So he might have held Raceborough up, but they were both on hot laps. So at the end of the day, there was not much he could do, as everyone is now going to be coming across the line for their final laps. Normally, I would go through them, as that looked like someone off the track, and that is someone off the track. Boomba into the firm heart of Sector 2 has spun on the long left, so he's going to be waiting for everyone to get past. I don't want to have a dangerous rejoin, because that is very dangerous. You don't want to jump on a track with a flying car going past you. He'll get back going again, but that is his practice session over. We're going to have a quick look, as Nivi's still at the top of the timing sheet at the moment, and the next line is George getting right. Is he going to knock Nivi off? No, he's not. He's going to run off wide into the final corner, and that will put him out of practice now as he drives into the wall at the end. So that is him over. That is practice done for George. He's going to get P3 provisionally. As next across the line is not Kuriyama, it's Raceborough. He got held up in his first lap, going for a second lap, burning then all the battery you have left, empty fuel. Here he goes, DRS, across the line, doesn't improve. Next across the line, as Jazz crashes into the wall in the final turn, it was Kuriyama, but he doesn't set a good lap. Boomba we saw spinning into the final, the middle of the sector 2. And then last across the line will be Baba. In P8, he does not improve. But that is your free practice session completed. So, I believe an ad is going to be run in a minute, but I will keep on waffling for those who don't get an ad. I'm going to have a quick sip of water, because my throat's going dry. But that is your practice over. Nivi has stopped the timing sheets with Kuba, George, MJB, Kijam, Jens, Kamilu, Baba, Dino, Raceborough, Beagle, Jazz, Boomba below, and Kuriyama at the back of the grid. You'll see the soft runners are quite far ahead. That is because round this this track, the soft tyres do have quite a big dividend compared to the mediums, and then respectively mediums to the hards. So obviously just below, he was on hards, 1.8 seconds off the lead. However, I believe into this short qualifying, which they'll have 18 minutes to do, he will probably be going for quite a quick lap time. So George's good lap seeing. George is seeing a good lap. Good lap seeing I'm not a quali driver, says the man from Luton. Yeah, I think George is quite good at qualifying, if you ask me. I'm going to quickly go over my comms. No idea. Anyway, everyone's going to be rewatching this stream afterwards and is going to hear me butcher loads of stuff, which is great. But this is the qualifying session for our pre-season race. So everyone's going to be waiting. Everyone wants to get the perfect track and have no traffic, and there will always be traffic on a grid because there's 15 of them today, and it's quite a tight. I say tight. It is quite a tight track, and there's not a lot of room for error. You go off the track, there will be gravel, as the first car has already gone out, and the first car, I believe, is Baba. It is Baba. The first driver that came out in practice is the first driver that has come out into the track body. I believe it was Baba. So here he is going through turn 2 and then the long sweeping turn of 3. Baba, we've already been over all our drivers, but Baba I will give a little bit more love to. So Baba is a lovely guy from the Netherlands. I know he's from the Netherlands because I spoke to him a couple of times now, and he is Thursday tier? Thursday tier? He is Thursday tier. He is a V-car driver alongside Cuba. So like I said, quick driver, and he'll be looking to be even more quicker towards Season 4. So he'll be trying to get a good quality lap under his belt before we get into the next race. Him, as a Thursday tier driver, is 6 days away, so he wants to get this practice under his belt, which is why most of our drivers are here today, to get a bit of practice under their belt and a bit more experience. You know, everyone wants a bit more experience. Next on the track is, I believe, Baba's teammate, and it is Kuba, in a very lovely car there. It looks different to practice, but I might be wrong, as pretty much everyone is now going out on track. We've only got a few left in the pit lane. And who was next after Kuba? I believe it's Kuriyama. It's not Kuriyama, he's still in the pit lane. I don't know then. Maybe Nivi? It is Nivi. Who is side by side with a car who I believe, which I'll probably get wrong, is Dino. No, it's not. It's very hard to check. I know it's Jens, isn't it? Of course it's Jens. It was Jens. So that's how I'll recognise them. Obviously, in towards when we head in towards Season 4, they'll all be in their right vehicles and the cars, so I can actually see who's who and remember what cars they are. Because at the moment I'm going off of the colour of the car, inputting it towards their name. So Jens, he is the third car coming across the qualifying line to start his flying lap. So we'll ride on board with Jens as he heads straight down towards turn 1, using 50% battery down the straight, heading towards turn 1, which is a very sharp right. So he gets his braking point just on right, gets the curb, avoids that inside curb because that will spin you out, and the same for this inside curb. If you touch it too hard, it will chuck you out. He takes it just right and gets a good fly through sector 1, which is now completed. 21 seconds he did that in, which is a very quick time. Towards the next long sweeping right, prepare yourself for long sweeping left. You want to be as close to the right of the track without touching the grass as you can. The Bubba sets a 1 minute 12.7, which is a quick lap time. As Jens outside of the curb there. You don't want to take too much outside curb here or onto this bit, as it will instantly chuck you off. There's curbs around here are not forgiving, and an inside curb here, you want to take as much as you can because it's the same on that outside curb. It will chuck you off and it will not forgive you for any single mistake. Sector 2, purple. Sector 1 was also purple as he flies through this left-hander, getting ready again for the right-hander. Lots of turns following one another as we head into the end of Sector 3 now. Very long sweeping with the right, into another very long sweeping right. Is he going to take it flat out? He, of course, is going to take it flat out. It's Jens. He's a brave Great Dane. There we go. Bear hunting Dane. Get there eventually. As he went Paul, but Livy went, nah, you're not getting Paul from me, Jens. Livy goes, I'm going to set 2/10 lap time and beat you to P1 provisionally for now, as everyone else is now coming across the line. Beagle goes 7/10 off, showing what he can do. Same for Kijam, who goes another 7/10 off, so these two drivers are very close to each other. Baba, first across the line, 7/10 off, so that's very close between them three, about 500ths. And Boomba also joins that big close train. And there's a little bit of a gap between Baba and Dino of about 3 or 4 tenths, and Dino's in 8th, but then you've got Jazz, who's 200ths off in 8th and 9th, and then Kuba, who I believe made a mistake and is going to go again because that's a bit of a slower lap time for Kuba, and same for Kamilu, as a blow has gone to the second near the top of the timing sheets. Nivi is still going to keep his name up there because that is Nivi and he likes to be up at the top of the timing sheet. So that is it for the first quali laps. Apart from Racebro, he's dropped into 8th. He'll be looking to improve his lap time there as well, but we'll begin to see some other drivers coming out, including the likes of Kuriyama, George Gamer and MJB, who is on a flying lap. The man from Netherlands, the Friday tier commentator, is going towards the second to last corner into the right turn, using up the rest of the battery, using much of the tyre life as he's got left. Flying down, DRS activated now, battery on, going across the line, and he has toppled Nivi. 300ths though. It is close at the top of this grid. MJB just about beating him. Obviously Nivi is now going to be going, don't you worry, I've got pace in this car, I'll perform. But MJB might be thinking to himself, I've got even more pace as well. And the rest of the drivers will be going, we were just setting a banker, don't you worry, we will be there in a second. As Baba has just proven that, up to P5, good improvements, 4 tenths off the pace. It's quite close at the top of this grid. As next across the line was Jazz, who goes P11, 1.2 seconds off the pace, only about 4 tenths off of P6 though, so that is very close, and that will track him up 5 positions. Then we have a George Gamer, He is, as you can see in the distance, now closing up towards us, towards turn 1. He's going to be looking for a good qualifying lap. The man says that he isn't a very quick driver in qualifying, but he's now probably going to prove us wrong and go P1 by about 4 seconds, because it's George Gamer and he likes to do that. As here he goes, up towards the end of Sector 1, flying through. He's going to set a very close to 22, 21.9, into the long sweeping right, and getting ready towards the long sweeping left. Takes it quite inside line onto the long sweeping right and stays there, which, you know, you could argue is the wrong way to do it. Some people like to run wide, but it's up to you. It's about the same amount of time anyway. As we head towards here, as he can take the yellow curb, he avoids it, which is a smart thing to do. You do not want to hit that yellow curb. Same on the inside. Hitting that curb's risky because it can chuck you off into the outside, but he's avoided that one as well. Playing it safe here, obviously, bank a lap. He doesn't need to push it too hard, and if he hits into a wall, he won't get another lap. As Jen says, he's already clipped something, and MJB, being the Quali master, MJB and Nivi are known as Quali masters respectively. But this quick lap at Spain is nearly coming to an end for George Gamer. Is he going to be able to topple the front 2? Is he going to be able to get into the top 10? Who knows? P6, 6 tenths off the front 2, and that is a good lap time from George. He'll be happy with that. He'll be looking to improve as he pulls to the edge of the grid, getting ready for, I'm assuming, another lap afterwards. We will see. He might just jump back into the pit lane. But I'm not going to run an ad. No, I'm not running an ad. So the grid is beginning to form. At the moment, we have MJB, Nivi, who's going out for another lap time. He's going to try and topple MJB. We have Below, we have Jens, we have Beba, we have George, we have Keyjam, who's coming out for another flying lap as he starts it now. We have Boomba, who is just coming into the pit lane now, or he is in the pit lane. We have Beagle, who's on an out lap. Racebrewer, Dino, Jazz, Kuba, who's going to go for a lap time now. He's 1 tenth up at the moment, which is actually a purple Sector 1 according to the track map. He's flying through. He's going to have maybe a little bit of a toe in towards the second DRS straight in Sector 2 for the end of Sector 3 as we ride on board. Is he going to avoid the yellow curb? He touches it slightly, but it's just enough to keep him on track. Using his battery just enough to keep him going a bit of pace as he's going to burn down here at lane DRS. Is he going to reach a high speed? About 190 miles per hour. If you're in kilometers per hour, I have no idea what that is. Maybe 300 around that. But here we go, into the right turn. He has got a bit of a toe, but also dirty air from the car ahead. As you don't really want a car ahead of you in corners, you want it down the straight as it can affect your aerodynamics. But he's going to get a toe out of this final corner. It will give him a tiny bit of a boost here. He gives everything he's got left and chucks himself P3, 700ths off. So the top 3 are now spread across 700ths of a second, which is crazy between the top 3. If we see this into Season 4 between both tiers, it is going to be an absolute belter of a season. As someone else is just improved. I can't remember who that was because I didn't see it. I doubt it was Jens because Jens just shocked him. I believe it's Kaijan who's gone up to P6 and he's 2 tenths off, so the top 6 is covered by 2 tenths. As we will ride on board with Jens. He says he's a quick driver. Can you prove it to me? The bear hunting a Great Dane as he goes into the right first turn. He's already invalidated his lap. Jens. What are we going to do with you, Jens? Honestly. He's in P5 at the moment. It's a yellow flag in Sector 2, which I believe is for one of the boys. Oh, it was Racebrewer. So, Racebrewer, he's on an outlap. It's not the end of the world, but he wouldn't want to spin there. It would have probably cooked his tyres a little bit, but he's got enough time now just to give his car a little bit of a break, prepare himself again, and get out for another flying lap, which he will do. He was just teasing everyone what he could do, and Jens is just... We're not going to go into Jens, you know. Jens has crashed towards the end of the middle of Sector 2. Because we're going to ride on board with Boomba, and we might actually see Jens' retired car. No, we won't. But we will continue to ride off board with Boomba, who makes a small mistake there. That's why I said to avoid that curb, because it will chuck you into the grass, and he continues to stay in the grass for a little bit there. Just keep out of everyone's way. He'll be harvesting now, having a little bit of fuel and going again, or he'll be putting into pit lane, changing tyres and getting ready towards the end of the session to set a quick lap time. Have we got anyone else on an absolute flyer? It looks like Beagle Milan, sorry. He's on a flyer. Here he comes towards the end of Sector 2. He's currently 6 tenths off the front, and he's 3 seconds off on this lap time, so I'm sure he's going to abandon this lap and go again. The next driver is not Racebrewer. It is not Nivi. Who is it then? It is Blow. Is Blow improving? We will find out as he heads in towards the final corner. He's going to use all he's got left here flying towards the final corner in 7th gear. Oh, below. He's gone even quicker, which now means the top 4's gone by 800ths, but below has gone P1 provisionally. But the next few drivers across the line are not going to be happy and will want to beat that. This includes the likes of Jazz, who pulls in the pit lane, and Racebro, who also pulls in the pit lane, so they were not going to cross the line. Next is Camilo, who's invalidated, so he won't be saying this lap time. Will he come across the line? Nope, he's going to stay out. I'm assuming go for another lap time. It's beginning to calm down, this qualifying session. Everyone's beginning to think, let's just get ready. Let's get ready for the last couple of minutes, the last couple of seconds, and get a quick lap time across the board. Dino there, for 1/10 improvement. He'll be looking for a couple more. He's only a second off the pace though. P12 is a second off the pace, which is definitely close. We now have, like I say, small little break. Obviously, the drivers are now going north to the point are going out. We'll wait till the end when the track is at its absolute prime and set as quick a lap time as they physically can. That is the goal. Obviously, they want to be the best of the best. And these are the best of the best. CLR drivers are always pushing it to the limits. As you can see, Camilo here pushing his car to the absolute limits. This is only in the middle of qualifying, and he has a little bit of a tank slapper through that right turn towards the second DRS straight. He was probably going to lose it. Apparently he's gained 2 seconds, as he's actually 5 seconds off the pace. So at the moment, he's going to improve his lap time. He knows there'll be more pace to find, as he did take a little bit of a tank slapper. Anyway, towards the penultimate corner of Sector 3 of the final lap. Takes a lot of curb there, and he's going to abandon that lap because he knows there's a lot more time to find in that. Next across the line, which is Dino, is going to be pulling into the pit lane. So the next one will be Bubba, who's currently on an out lap. He'll be looking to improve his lap time. It's P7, only 4/10 off. If he improves quite a bit, he'll be in P1. So he knows if he improves, it's going to be crucial for him. As Jen says, what am I doing? Not even on a lap. My rear hit the grass on the entry, and I spun it and hit the wall. Such a Jen thing to do, isn't it? Having a spin in qualifying. The only driver that has retired from the session is Jen's and has crashed. But here comes Baba in towards turn 1. A little bit of a lock-up, as you can see on that front left tyre, which is quite common in towards that corner as you come off the DRS straight with so much speed into pretty much a 90-degree right and then instant left. But he's going to set a 121.9, which is pretty much matching his first lap time, which is still pretty quick, as we can see as he's in P7. And he's going to come into this lovely long sweeping left. Is he going to take it wide? He will, taking it right to the limits of his of the car, of the limits of the track. And he's going to go in towards the left and towards the right as he invalidates his lap onto that yellow bit of curb. It will keep you there if you ride onto it. So that his lap time validated. He'll be saving a bit of ERS and going again in a couple of minutes. We now have Boomba, who is also on a flying lap. We're going to ride on board with the red and purple car as he comes across Sector 1, full Sector 1 line. He's improved by about half a tenth, about 5 oh my gosh, I cannot speak today. 500ths, and he is now heading towards the heart of Sector 2. This is the hard part of Spain, when you have to take this inside without taking too much, because you'll get a tank slapper like Boomba just did, which means he hasn't taken it right to the edge of the track there. Hitting that curve very nicely on towards the outside curve, also very smooth from the Polish man. As we're coming towards the end of the lap now, towards the few penultimate corners, this is quite a hard turn to get. If you hit throttle too quickly, you will spin guaranteed. Taking this curve is quite nice to do, as it's quite flat and won't chuck you out. We're going to the next outside, into the final corner. He misses his apex, but does take it quite well. Using the final bit of his battery, he improves by about 2 tenths. Good luck for him there. He'll be happy with that. Who's next? Next is Jazz, and he's going to be looking for improvement. He improved a little bit of his lap time. It's about a 4/10 improvement, which he'll be happy with. It'll chuck him up into P2. He might have enough time though to harvest that battery and go again. Oh no, he doesn't want to. He's retired, as there is a car behind him, which I hope it's going to get out of the way for, please. Oh, Camilo might have got held up a little bit there. Camilo, this is going to be his one and only quick lap time, so he's going to be wanting to get a quick lap time, but being held up by the retiring car of Jazz isn't going to help him. But he's still improved. He's still done a 21.7 in Sector 1. Here he flies down into 6th gear, dropping it down, front left lock a little bit there, but it won't bother him. It's Camilo, he'll keep on going as he flies 6th gear. Would he push into 7th? He probably won't. No, he won't, as he drops his gears in towards the exit of I think that's turn 8. I believe it's turn 9, but I'm not going to say it is because I don't know. in towards the second DRS straight. He's flying through sector 2 here. He's looking for a quick lap time as he improves by 3.4 seconds, which is an absolutely insane lap time. MJB retired, so he doesn't think he can get any more out of that car, as we are riding on board still with Camilo. Camilo, can he improve? We know he's going to improve. He's going to push it in towards the final corner. 7th gear, flat out, using the rest of his battery. DRS straight activated now, in towards the final straight, and he's also gone into this really close top 5 fight. So the top 5 is now only covered by 0.08 of a second. These boys at the top here are very, very quick. We need to be watching out for these, as next across the line is Kijam, who's also added to this really close top battle. Oh my gosh. Top 6 is covered by just under 0.09 of a second. That is literally blink and you'll miss it between these top 6 drivers. And even the cars behind, Race Blower, who is down in 12th, is only 0.8 off the pace, and he'll be looking to improve, as that is Kuriyama off the track there on the final turn, so he was probably looking for an improvement, and that will be him done, as all our drivers are now on flying laps, apart from Boomba, who is in the pit lane. Who is going to be first across the line? It looks like it's going to be Beagle Man. Here he is. He's going to be flying. 1/10 improvement currently, according to his Delta. But into the final corner, is he going to improve? Let's have a look. P10, 6/10 off. He goes up by 1/10, chucking P9 ahead of Boomba, who can be put down to P10. Boomba and Kuba, P6 and 10, are both out of qualifying now. Well, I say out of qualifying, qualifying is done. George Gamer improves by 4/10, putting him to P7, 1/10 off of P1. Or sorry, 2/10 off of P1, which is, you know, 2/10 between the top 2 is absolutely crazy. Camilo in P5, that is his qualifying over without an improvement. And then the next across the line is going to be Blow. He is currently on provisional pole. He's improving his lap time. He's saying, I've got this in the bag, and I'm going to make sure I've got it in the bag. So here he comes into the final corner. Can he extend his lead? He will extend his lead by the looks of it, and he sets an even quicker lap time. He improves by 0.03. Is anyone else going to be able to beat it? Nivy, we'll ride on board with you, Nivy, man. Let's see if you can beat the Blow's lap time as we activate DRS. Use everything we got left, and he matches his lap time. Nivy and Blow set an exact identical lap time. That is menacing towards the start of Season 4, that Blow and Nivy respectively have set identical lap times. Can anyone else topple it? Camilo, he's on a hot lap. He is locked up a little bit though, in towards the 4th to last corner. 3rd to last corner is a sweeping right. He's only about 3 times improvement. He spins. He spun there in practice and he's lost his wing. That is Camilo's qualifying session completely over and done and dusted as he loses a front wing. Will that mean the front 3 are guaranteed as George also spins? The traction seems to be gone and the grip's gone as George blocks the pit lane. Don't jump in front of Camilo. Oh dear, George. You've just... Oh, George, buddy. We could see that happening, and yeah, 5th place grid penalty. Well deserved, I think, George. The FAA of the F1 24 game has given him a penalty. He's going to do it again. Oh, George, be careful, buds. You're going to get another 5-second penalty. Watch that rear view mirrors, because you're going to get even more trouble as everyone's flying through. The last cross the line is going to be... I don't even know. I think it was Nivy. It will be Nivy, but that is on a finished lap. So that is your qualifying session over. This is what our grid will be in towards the race, which is going to be a 35% lap. 35% lap, 35% distance. So, as we just saw, Nivy and Blow have set identical lap times. However, Blow will be the one that starts... Oh, actually, there's a 1,000 between them. That's not what it said, but it did say they're on identical lap times. We're going to stick with identical lap times because that's cool. So, you have Blow at the first. You then have Nivy, MJB, Kijam, who's a new driver, who's going to show himself already that he can drive quite quickly. You have Kamidu, Kuba, same new driver, and he's showing us that he can drive very, very quickly. George in P7 with a 5-place grid penalty will chuck him down to 12th, I believe. Yes? And then after that, we can't see because it's gone. But we're going to have a quick look in the Twitch chat. Jens has said, if Callum beat me by 1,000th of a qualifying, he would laugh at me. I probably would laugh at you, Jens, if I beat you by 1,000th. I would laugh at you. Because I am the better driver, so it wouldn't be 1,000th for Jens. It would probably be about 4,000s. Anyway, he also says he loves the emojis. We do love the sloth emojis, don't we, Jens? The sloth emojis are... they're quality, aren't they? Having a lovely photo of Sloth in the commentary box. Well, not in the commentary box, in the chat is always a nice little reminder. Keeps you going in the commentary box when you have a little sloth in chat. And Jens wants a bear one. You're not getting a bear one, Jens. Maybe you will. Maybe if you come as excellent sloth, maybe one day. One day it will happen. We're gonna have a quick look in the Discord, see what everyone is thinking about this race so far. But I think it's going to be pretty close. Peak motor racing. So someone has clipped George driving in front of Camilio, I believe it was. And Cooper says he'd done a quali lap without any force feedback. There will be a formation warm-up lap. Let me just say that. Formation lap on, I believe. But qualifying's over. The race is now going to start, as yes, there is a formation lap, and the drivers will drive this themselves, as Blow takes the grid off and towards lap 0, effectively, as they get to warm up their tyres and just get ready for the race ahead. I'm hoping it's going to show me what tyres are on. It is, because I can look at it here. So, oh, I just got rid of it all. So, we have a couple of mediums and we have a couple of softs. Obviously, this is a 35% race. In CLR, we do 50% races. Just because we wanted to get a practice session in, we've made it a little bit shorter because, you know, Jens's bedtime wouldn't allow us to do a longer time, I'm afraid. So this is why we've had to shorten that race. So if you wanna be a 50% race, you need to ask Jens if he can have his bedtime delayed for a little bit next time. And I'm sure he would happily ask his mummy for his bedtime to be delayed a little bit for CLR. If not, he can do that. Anyway, we have MJB. Yes, MJB, Kuba, Jens, the guy with a bedtime, Bubba, Race Brower, and the Boom Bar on softs. The rest of your grid will start on the medium compounder tyres. The front three will be fighting to the end. I'm going to say MJB at the start will be absolutely flying. Obviously, the man from the Netherlands is on softs with the two drivers ahead on mediums, so he's going to have that advantage to start off with. But because the tyres are so degradable around Spain, he will fall off a cliff very, very quickly. And we'll see as well whether the drivers on mediums will go to hards, whether they'll stay on these mediums for a long time and then maybe go on to softs. We will see in the very near future, which is literally going to be about a couple of seconds, as Kuriyama in P15 is going to bring up the back of the grid now, as we're going to get ready to go to 5 red lights for the Spanish, well, I say Spanish Grand Prix, the pre-season test. Everyone's weaving. The possible strategies is soft to medium or soft to hard. So we'll probably see medium to hard, medium soft, or medium hard as well. As one driver misses pit stop. But here we go. We are all formed up as Kuriyama has brought it onto the grid now. We're going to jump right behind the cars as there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 red lights. Aren't gone, but everyone else is. There is a huge crash, and I believe that has involved, who did that involve? Virtual safety car. It was Boomba, Beagle, and Kuba, and Dino Stan. I'm not sure what happened there. Yeah. So to me, the 5 red lights just didn't go out, and everyone else had. And it looked like a couple of drivers didn't see it. So, virtual safety car on. But Cooper wants a quick invite, so I'll sort him out. Where is he? Cooper. Where is he? Cooper. You're not even online. Anyway, virtual safety car at the start. I think there's a full course caution safety car now. I'm not surprised. Dino's been thrown out as well. Dino's not even online. It seems to be a bit of an issue. So, according to the drivers, the lights went out instantly. According to me, the lights weren't even on, went off. We're going to ride on board with Blow to see if they actually did go off in the end. My eyes were drawn to the crash at the back between the back 4 drivers. We're seeing pit stops. we are seeing pit stops, and I believe that'll be a lot of the soft tyre runners, and it isn't all of them. So the majority of the soft tyre runners have come off them already, so they're brave. Will they go to the end? Who knows? There's a chance they could go to the end, but it'll be hard. Anyway, we're going to have a quick look at position changes as Kijam is reset the track as well, which isn't allowed, but I don't think he saw the safety car in time, and he's just about avoided below. That almost came into a Kevin Magnussen Esteban Ocon kind of thing, if you remember that back all those years ago, where Ocon saw Kevin Magnussen and went, oh, hold on, I'm going to drive into the back of him, let me try and jump out of the way. So respect to Kijam, he's lost quite a lot of positions doing that, but he has saved Blow's race by not driving into the back of him, so respect to you, Kijam, for doing that. But you did reset the track, it's not allowed, but it's okay. So we're seeing a couple of hard compound tyre runners now. MJB, Racebrower, Kamilu, George Gamer, Boomba and Beagle Milan have all put onto hards, but because the safety cars come out, they're going to get a free pit stop. They're going to be able to close up and already have pit, which means by the rules they don't have to pit again. But by tyres, they probably will, because the tyre will be screaming at them by the end of the race, going, I can't do this anymore, please take me off. But if they're careful on them, chances are they will reach towards the end of the race, and that is going to gain them a 21-second advantage on the safety car pit stops, unless there is another safety car, which we could see, but we also might not see. Anyway, I am being tagged like crazy underneath the announcements. Yes. Who needs an invite? If you need an invite, let me know. I believe it's okay, but if anyone needs an invite, please let me know and I will get that sorted for you as quickly as possible. I think it was Dino and Kuba, who I can't actually see online currently. Kuba is online, but he's also retired from the race, so there's not much I can do about that, I'm afraid. You can join back in and watch if you like, as 20's joined CLR, so welcome in 20. But we now currently have, I want to look at position changes, but I don't actually know how to find it. There it is. So, let us have a look. Blow has kept position at the front of the grid. Nivi was P2, I believe. And where is Nivi? He's down in last. No, he's second to last, sorry. So, he was one of the drivers that pit for hards. He'll be going to the end. So, even though he's lost 11 positions, he net P1, effectively. Or actually, because there's drivers ahead that have also pit, he's probably net behind everyone else that has already pit. So net 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's somehow been a position change up ahead between Kamilu and MJB. No idea how that's happened, whether they're going to sort each other out or whether Kamilu was already ahead. Not sure. But below, Baba is up in P2, gaining 6 positions. Kijam is up in P3, which I swear was in P5. I'm assuming he's been let back past. And then Kuram and Jazz have both gone up P9 and gone up 9 and 10 positions respectively, and same with Dino, who's gone up 8 positions. So, a lot of improvements from their qualifying grid as the safety car restart is about to happen. Below will lead us away in towards lap 4 of this CLR Season 4 pre-season test. Will he be able to get a good start? And he looks like he's gone. No, he hasn't. Oh, he's playing his game smart here, as he's got Baba on a fresh set of softs right behind him. Here we go. Here he goes. Blow's gone. Baba's been left a bit behind there, as there's a couple of pit stops behind as well. But I believe that could be down to damage, as that is Boomba and Racebrower, and someone is also flown very slow on the right side of the track. That looks like Beagle Man. I'm not sure what that's all about. But up towards the front is close between Kijam and Baba. Very tight racing in towards turn 1 and 2, but Kijam's backed out of it. Fair enough, bud. If you can't do it, it's not worth it. It is risky to stay in towards it. Although he's looking again, he's not going to make it this time. Although, Dino on towards the inside of Kurama. A very good move in towards the start of sector 2 from Dino. Very impressive. He's a very good, brave move. And Dino is a very brave man, so I'm not surprised. Towards the back, we can see Nivi and George Gamer, 2 OGs of CLR, fighting it out. Nivi's looking towards the inside, doesn't go for it, he thinks better of it. It's a long race. It's only 23 laps, but it's still a long race. I know it says safety car at the top left. It's not. We are on green flag running. But will Nivi go for it here? He's burning his battery. He's flying towards sector 3. Looks to the inside briefly, but thinks better of it. As at the front again, Camilo drifts through this left turn. And then also the same for Kijam, I believe, was getting past Bubba in the same turn as we were riding on board with Kurama, or Camilo, sorry. But Kijam is now ahead of Bubba. Both of them, Kijam and Blow, on mediums. And Kijam's actually set the fastest lap of the race. So Blow is going to be looking in those rear view mirrors more than he's going to be looking ahead. But the same for Kijam, as Baba looks towards the inside of Kijam. So very close racing between the front 3. A second gap then to Jazz, and then Dino, who's right behind him, Jazz. We then have Camilo and Kuriyama, who's just about keeping up with Camilo. But the grid's spreading out a little bit. But there's still a very long way to go. As we're now riding on board with George Gamer. As we can see ahead of us, Kuriyama has a little bit of a mistake. And MJB, is he going to look towards have a move as we ride on board just next to his helmet? Oh, he has a little bit of contact as Kuriyama has another mistake in towards that left turn. Is MJB going to look to the inside? I think it'll be silly if he does, and he doesn't think about it. But Kuriyama makes another mistake, and it opens it up for MJB, who gets past. And so is George looking to the inside of this right-hander. Kuriyama does give him the space and runs wide, so he has to back out a little bit. And Nivi's got past him. And so will Jens as he gets a bit close, and Jens and Kuriyama make a mistake. Oh dear. So both drivers lose their front wing. Kuriyama lost full of his front wing. You can see that happening from when it instantly came Jens to the outside, really. It was too close and Jens to go on the inside, and Kuriyama has ended up taking his own front wing off. Jens has survived, but a virtual safety car has come out. As we now see Bubba on the softs and a Blow coming onto a... Let me ride on board with him. There we go. Onto a new set of hard compound tyres, I believe, which we will look at. It is. So Blow didn't pit underneath the safety car, but the VSA is gone. So Blow, the advantage he thought he was going to get, isn't going to get. If Kuriyama for some reason stays out with no front wing, I'm assuming he'll box next lap. But we'll see, as Bubba's still in the pit lane as he comes out now. But Bubba's now going to be looking on the back of Kuriyama going, why have you not pit? You need a new front wing. And he flies around the outside. Lovely move from him. But with, what's his name? Below boxing, it puts Kijam well in the lead now. 1.3 seconds in the lovely Neon McLaren, which is the eSport McLaren. 1.4 seconds. He's pulling away. Kijam, the new boy, is pulling away from the experience of Jazz and Dino, but Dino is not happy about it. And at the back, in the middle, P4, 5 and 6 are side by side. Who's that looking to the outside of MJB? It's George, the commentator friends. As Camilo looks to the inside, as we're going 3 wide, it's very tight here to go 3 wide. As George Gamer is on the inside, I believe. It is George Gamer. And Camilo on the outside of MJB. We're looking 3 wide again. Camilo flies around the outside of both of them. Great racing from these 3. Is right behind them. We have Nivi and Jens fighting it out. And oh, there's a little bit of contact between Nivi and George Gamer. As these 5, respectively, are fighting so hard. Camilo moving to the left, MJB moving to the right, George moving to the right as well. Moves are happening here. Camilo's get dumped by both of them. Nivi's now looking for a move. Jens is looking for a move on Nivi though, as all drivers respectively fighting it out like it's the last race of the season for a championship here. Camilo, as you ride on board with Nivi, Camilo goes to the inside of George into the start of sector 2, locks up a little bit and hits George. Nivi goes to the inside, spins and takes out Jens with him. Oh dear, Jens, your day's gone from bad to worse, I'm afraid, bud. So it looks like Camilo's locked up and hit Nivi, and then Jens has come out with him. Beagleman getting past both Nivi and Jens respectively, and that does put George and Camilo a little bit of safety here. But with a bit of contact between both of them, and that huge battle between the 5 of them now sizzling out, could we see a little bit more of a calm battling going on, so I can actually breathe. But I don't think it will happen, as George is close back up to MJB now. He is right on the back. Camilo's right on the back of him as he runs slightly wide. We might have a little bit of wing damage for some drivers though, as there was a couple of love taps and a couple of wall taps as George makes a little bit of a mistake. Camilo is now right on the back of him. George will have DRS though, as the boys ahead of Dino and Jazz battling, but it looks like Jazz has got back past Dino with DRS. Obviously this DRS straight is powerful, as George is demonstrating as he flies past MJB. MJB didn't even put up a fight, with just big respect to him, knowing that it wasn't worth it. But he will not think, I'm going to let you pass forever, I'm going to come back for you, George. And he's already looking at it. He's on the back of him in towards the end of sector 1. Will he look to the inside? He looks towards the outside, but he knows that's not a place to go for a move on the outside, as he is going to stay behind him. Lovely and careful in the throttle there. He doesn't need to be too hard at the moment. He's got the slipstream off George, and he can just take his time as long as he doesn't lose that valuable 1 second gap. Then behind MJB we have Camilo, and we still have Nivi, and we've got Beagleman, but Jens, I believe, might have a little bit of damage as he's running wide there. That'll be a warning as he cuts that corner on the yellow curb. As I said in practice and in qualifying, you don't want to touch the yellow curb, but he is still closing a tiny bit here in P9. He'll be angry and wanting more though, as these boys are going at it again. George is still ahead of MJB. Camilo runs a little bit wide, and Nivi looks to the inside. He gets a bit nervous there as Camilo makes a bit of a move. But Camilo is the first driver to feel the wrath of the FIA and gets a 3-second penalty for warnings, which is Nivi also probably gets a warning there. So it's quite a hard track for warnings, but Nivi also does set the fastest lap of the race. So he's quick down there in P7. Wants to get past Camilo as he looks towards the inside. Is he going to make a move? Thinks better of it, backs out. Baba sets the fastest lap of the race as he did last lap as well. So Baba's going to be very quick. Good to keep an eye on him. As I said before, in practice, he's worth keeping an eye on, as these three have crossed about 2 tenths. George putting a bit of a gap. Camilo looks towards the Aussie inside as MJB. No! Oh, that was scary to watch as he takes a little bit of contact. Now Nivi's going to catch up as Camilo gets a bit of a tank slapper and a lock up, and Nivi would be think to get a bit of a launch out of here. He doesn't manage it, and Camilo pulls away just a teeny bit for now. But George is going to be looking at his mirrors going, what is this lot doing? I'm going to be able to pull a second now. And he nearly has 8 tenths between George and MJB. MJB is going to be looking ahead of him and going, I've lost this second nearly. And he has just about got DRS. But towards the second DRS straight, he might be now losing it now, as MJB is the first driver we have on the hard compound tyres. Actually, no, George is. So George is net P1 as the 3 drivers ahead of him still need to pit. Dino and Jazz still going at it, and Keisha and pulled the 2.3 second lead at the moment. But George has pulled a DRS now off of MJB as he drops down to 5th gear, which is brave in towards the final corner as George sets the fastest lap of the race. Camilo looks to the inside. Nivi's behind Camilo as MJB is going to get done by both of these two. And Nivi's not going for 1, he's going for 2. The man from London round the outside into turn 2 with the inside, and then turn 3 the long two from right. He backs out as he doesn't want to be the outside of turn 3, but Camilo makes a little mistake. Nivi backs out and gets a little bit of wing damage as Camilo is hit Nivi. Nivi's had to react, and he's reacted well as Camilo jumps to the outside, touches the grass, and that is what can happen if you touch the grass around Spain. Both MJB and Nivi have got past. Nivi is 2 seconds behind George Gamer now. He's going to want to close this gap as MJB begins to lose the gap to Nivi as well. So this battle between the 4 of them, and also Beagleman, who wanted to get involved, and Jens, who's fallen off, is beginning to spread out. But MJB and Camilo still next to each other. Camilo flies past with DRS as we expected. DRS around here is quick, and MJB thinks better of it and sticks behind. But the DRS around here is hard, so these drivers will be having to be careful of how they manage themselves. But Jens, he's got his rhythm back behind Beagleman as they are now beginning to close up to MJB on the hard compound tyres, these two, as Jens brakes quite a bit into that corner, which means his launch out of this corner isn't as good as the Beagleman is. But Jens will have the DRS. He's going to fly towards the outside, now the inside of turn 1. Beagleman squeezes him, Jens isn't phased. The Great Dane takes the inside of turn 2, takes the curb very nicely. Is he going to come off the inside of turn 3? He does as he flies through, getting towards the second of MJB, who seems to be having a bit of an issue at the front of him, beginning to lose a little bit of time. You only need 2 seconds to Camilo. We will probably find out after the race what happened to MJB, as his pace has suddenly dropped quite drastically. As he looks up, and we can see on the front left end plate is not there. Jens would have seen that as well. He's got the eagle eyes, as now we'd be looking on this DRS straight, licking his lips. The Great Dane is going to be the Great Hunting Dane as he flies to the inside before the DRS straight and gets past. Beagleman was the one that has DRS, as he's going to be looking towards the outside and follow a Jens move, but MJB keeps it in the inside, in towards the left turn, getting ready for right turn, where Jens will have the inside and will continue to keep this position as he has the aerodynamic advantage with the front wing end plate still being there. Now MJB into these hard aerodynamic wanting corners, demanding corners, will pull into the pit lane as he knows this front wing needs to be changed. He's losing far too much time, but he'll be able to switch for some fresh tyres, and if the driver's ahead of him switch to fresh tyres, he'll be able to get a lovely undercut as he is changing his front wing, which is going to chuck him down near the back of the grid, but he'll have Boomba to keep him company, so it's okay. Right, let's have a look for a battle. Dano Stan and Jazz have been going at it since lap 2, really, and they will be still going at it towards the end, which has given Kijam, the new man from the Netherlands, quite a happy advantage at the moment. He's now got 3.7 and gaining advantage between these two drivers in P2 and 3. But there's a lap car. He jumps out of the way very nicely, but it does give Jazz DRS here. So these two who are fighting, as there's a yellow flag in Sector 2, will be trying to close up to Kijam, but it doesn't look like it's working as they're fighting far too hard. George Gamer though, he can see them in that corner ahead of him. He knows he's closing. 3.4, 3.2, the gap is closing. 3.1, he is on his way as Kijam jumps in the pit lane. One of the first 3 that didn't pit already as he speeds. Spain is hard for the pit lane limiter. You've got to be careful. And a 10-second penalty has been given towards Kijam as it looks like Dino is going to hold him up, but it's just about enough gap for Kijam to keep out ahead as here comes Dino into the pit lane. Is it going to be a quick pit stop? It looks like it from his team, and yep, quickly out of the marks. Here he goes back onto the grid. It will probably put him out into around P9 and he'll be safe on pit exit, so he'll be happy just to keep these tyres in check towards the end of the race. It looked like a fresh pair of hards to me. We'll see in towards turn 1. It is a fresh set of hards. So Dino Stan going to the end now with a huge tyre advantage compared to the drivers that didn't pit beforehand. We'll have a quick look at our tyres. So currently Jazz still has to pit by the rules set by the FAA. He has to come off these mediums and change to a different compound wherever he goes to softs, which he'll probably be looking for now, as George has a little bit next incident. I'm sorry, that was a lap car who flings off to the right. But George is closing on Jazz, so Jazz knows he needs to get off these tyres as quick as he can, because he is losing time and time and time to the George Gamer. What should we call George? The Luton man from behind. As Jens, the worst driver on our grid currently, gets a 3-second penalty for warnings. We're joking, Jens, as he's quite close to below at some moment. He'll be fighting here with a bit of DRS out of the penultimate corner. Can he get past Blow? He's got 3 lap fresher tyres. Doesn't look like it, as Blow had a better exit. So it looks like Jens is a bit slower than Blow, but if he's smart, he'll stay behind Blow and just keep the toe and catch up to Camilo, who's ahead of him. As obviously the three ahead below will not have to pit again, but if they want to, they can, but they won't have to. And that looks like what Jens is doing. He's just buying his time behind him, saving a bit of battery. And MJB, there is that pace we know he has. He didn't have it with his front wing missing, but he's got it now. Fresh mediums, new wing, and he bombs in a fresh, new, fastest lap from MJB. We might still see a wonder from MJB. We've seen it before. We could see it again. Jazz is still staying out, so he wants to get on the softs now. But you can see the tank slappers he's having through pretty much every corner as we ride on board. He's going to get another tank slapper here. No, he's managing this tyre wear well. The man from America is driving this car to perfection. And as George has closed up to him, he's gone, I don't want to battle. I want to be safe. I want my fresh tyres now. And he pulls into the pit lane for his fresh softs, I would say. Nibby, 2.1 behind George. He hasn't gained anything, but he hasn't lost anything currently. So he'll be still wanting to close up. He'll want the win. He knows he can get the win. And that is what he'll go for. Camilo is also behind him. Camilo had an incident at the start, and he's currently in P3. So if you put your mind to it, you know you can still get it. Blow, who led a lot of this race until he had an incident and put Kijam ahead, he's up to P4 again. So again, shows what you can do. Jens and Blow still there side by side. But behind Jens and Blow, you have Kijam and Bubba, who are fighting out for the P6 position, as Kijam, fresh out the pit lane on fresh hard, seems to still be struggling with tyre temp, because he's locking up and struggling into every corner by the looks of it. And a couple of tank slappers. So Bubba, who gets a 3-second time penalty, will probably want to get past Kijam. Of the fresher tyres of Kijam, I'm not sure he'll be able to do it, but he will try and keep up at minimum. That is our grid at the moment, a little bit spread out between a lot of our drivers. The only things we have with people to the rest are drivers that are just going to sit behind and use as their advantage, as Blow has closed 4 seconds to 2.8 on Camilo. So as long as Jens stays in DRS, which he's just about doing, he will be on the back of Camilo as well. And as they're matching tyres pretty much, they will be worth a fight here. It's beginning to calm down a little bit on this grid though. Baba is still doing the same as Jens, making sure he's just staying on his DRS, staying nice and calm. Boomba, who pit on very early on, I think it was about lap 4, has come back into the pit lane, and he is going to get rid of these used mediums and chuck on a nice, fresh, spanking new set of softs, and he is coming out of his pit box very quickly. So good stop from his team as he is down in P11. Obviously, if it was point scoring, which it isn't this in the pre-season test, it would be about 2 points he'll get out of this race. So he'll try and go a fastest lap, which will get him 3 points. But obviously, as it's pre-season, it won't score him anything. It's just for a bit of experience, a bit of fun between our drivers to see how they are doing after their lovely break over the winter period. Obviously, Racebro and Kuriyama, Beagleman, Boomba, MJB, those drivers all had incidents and have been chucked to the back of the grid, where they've just been fighting their own race, getting a bit of knowledge about Spain, trying to get a bit of understanding about this track and its complicated ways. Obviously, it's quite a hard aerodynamic track, and then you've got this really long DRS straight, where you need the low aero to keep in touch. But Below has suddenly just lost a bit of pace here, and has ended up with Kijam and Bubba closing up to it. So from P4 to P7, we might see a fight in a lap or two. It's Jazz and Dino from the start. They both boxed and are both fighting once again. Obviously, Jazz is on softs and Dino in on hards. Right behind Jazz is Dino. Will he try and go past? Or will he try and use Jazz as a little bit of a tow? Use him as the horse to Dino's carriage, the Dino carriage, towards the guys ahead of him. As we know, those four ahead are closing up and will probably want a good fight for that P4 position. So down to P9. If the P8 and 9 drivers play it right, with the 6 laps remaining, they might be able to close it up towards the higher point scoring positions. As Blow has just overtaken Chameleon's DRS straight. As all the way down to P6 and P3, we have a fight now. So for the one podium spot position, there is a fight. And even Bubba might be able to join in later on. If they fight that hard, it is always an option, as there is a lap car in between. No, it's not, that's Jens. This could be a lap car anyway. But Jens has Kijam right behind him. A hell of a lot fresher tyre Kijam has. And we're going to ride on board with Kijam. Would he go outside? Would he go inside? He's going to go outside for lap turn 1. No, he's not. He fakes the outside, goes to the inside. Very brave. Very late move and touches the grass, which means he gets a little bit of a tank snapper. Very clever from, not very clever, very well raced from him to keep it on the ground. He wouldn't tarmac without being too much there. But we still have Camille overtaking Blow again, as Kijam's looking to the inside now, towards the middle of sector 2, as we're going to ride on board at the back of his Halo. Very nice move here towards the outside. I want to see off board, but we're going to be on board. We're going to go towards Jens, as they're going to go side by side. A little bit of argy-bargy between the drivers. Jens making that move stick though, ahead of Kijam. No, he wasn't making the move stick, but he was keeping ahead of them. As they're going to start to fall behind a little bit. Ooh, Camilo, small tank slapper. Blow's going to try and capitalise on that. Round the outside of this long sweeping left. As Kijam drives into the side of Jens on the inside of the long sweeping left. Resets the track again for the second time today. But he drives in the side of Jens. I couldn't see whose fault that was, I'm afraid. I was watching the Blow Camille fight. And we're going to stay on this fight. But I'm sure Kijam will be furious in that car and will try and close back up. Or you'll have Baba to help him. As it looks like Beagleman is DNF'd. Will that cause a safety car? I don't think so, but he is DNF'd towards the end of this race. Blow to the inside of turn 1 on Kamidu. Kamidu won't fight it. Or he might do. No, he's not. He knows that's not the fight. He's in. He just wants to keep in touch though, because he still will want that point. Who do we else have? Jens and Kamilu fighting. Ooh, Kamilu stays on the inside. Jens, he's feisty, this boy. As Kamilu locks up, Jens takes a lot of grass on the inside though, as they're going to go very hammer and tom. Boom, with a 3-second time penalty. Round the outside goes Jens. Kamilu locks up a little bit. Jens sticks it, and that is Jens up to P4. Well done, Jens. That was a very good move. Very impressive. You should be proud of yourself for doing that. But he's just about keeping the DRS of Blow. Jens knows that position ahead of him is a podium, and he'll want it. He'll be really, really hungry for this podium position, especially after the incident he had at the start of the race. So he is closing a little bit. Low is also beginning to pull a little bit, so Jens needs to be careful he doesn't lose too much, as there's a yellow flag at the back of the grid. I believe that's Kura. No, it's not. It's MJB. So MJB's day has gone from bad to worse. It looks like his front wing has gone as well, as he's just sitting on the side of the track. Careful, Bloomba, please. MJB, there we go. He was just making sure he was out of the way. But that is no front wing for MJB, so he's going to probably box for a new front wing new fresh tyres, and it'll probably put him right next to Race Brewer as well, which is one of his best mates. So, you know, they can wave to each other across the tarmac as they are going to come across the line on towards the end of the race, as that is where we are. Below is ahead of Camilo, who is ahead of Jens, as there's a 1 second spacing between P3 and P4. Camilo's running wide a couple of times, so these 18 lap all tyres, he's been on them since laps 2, are beginning to affect Camilo. Obviously Jens, lap 3 he's been on since those tyres, so it's not too much of a difference, but Below has a 4 lap advantage, and that is why he's just about got a second gap by 2 thousandths of a second. So Camilo shouldn't have DRS, I believe, but Jens will. But Camilo still pulls away, because Jens seems quite slow on the straights, but he's rapid and very strong through the corners. As you can see there, into the corner after DRS straight, he closes quite a bit on Camilo. So Jens quietly running quite a high downforce setup. But behind them, Kijam, who had a spin on the corner before where he just is now, is looking around the outside of Baba. Lovely move from the Dutchman, the new boy in the eSports McLaren. It's absolutely flying. If he didn't spin, he was probably going to be going for a podium position. So he knows that when we go into Season 4 for Friday tier, which is what Kijam fights for, and Fight will be fighting him, he'll be able to go for some high podium positions possibly. Obviously, I'll be there, so I'll be trying to fight him as well. So it'd be nice to see you on track, Kijam, as Baba continues to fight this. Very close racing, side by side into turn 3. Very lovely racing as we head towards the end of Sector 1. That is Kijam on the left-hand side of your screen there, now on the right-hand side as they're going side by side. Look at these boys. We're going to turn off the telemetry so you can see it very well. Kijam on the inside, and then that is Baba on the outside, but it looks like Kijam's going to keep it as he runs a little bit wide there, maybe a warning for him, but it has kept it ahead. And then we're now going to head in towards the left where you want to avoid that yellow curb, but both of them have a little bit of a tank slapper there as they're going to ride over the camera in towards the DRS straight, where Baba, who we will ride on board with, will have DRS. He'll have a little bit of ERS to use as well, but so will Kijam, what looks like, who's now beginning to harvest a little bit, so he must have used a bit of ERS to get past Baba, so he's now got to be careful as down the next DRS straight he's going to be vulnerable, as Camilo is closed back up to Below and has got past, but he's got past before the DRS straight, so that does mean that Below will have DRS here. He's going to have a load of ERS to burn, and so will Camilo though. But is he going to go to the inside? Jens is just watching on. We're going to watch on board with Jens. As we can see, Below has just jumped ahead of him. Camilo, being smart, jumping to the right and letting him pass. He knows it's not the fight he needs to be in at the moment. As we are heading on to penultimate lap, George Gamer, as always, has dominated this race. We haven't even given him any coverage, so we'll give him a bit now. As Nivi, and the car between him and George, he is closed up a little bit, just not enough. He needed a few more laps for Nivi, and we might have seen a fight between the top 2 drivers. But yeah, as we say, George, not much coverage this race, as he is absolutely flown at the front of the grid and hasn't been in too much action. Nivi still closing, as a car behind George is actually very close. We might see Nivi getting right behind George towards the end, as George seems to be going quite slowly and closing massively, as there seems to be an incident. I think that was Jazz making an accident as Dino's got past him. But we want to see this fight between P3, 4 and 5 towards the final lap, as MJ beats us a very quick lap time. Congratulations to him, as it looks like Camilo is pushing Jens through the corners as he's going to look towards the inside here. He's going to fly down with DRS. Jens is giving us a very tight squeeze. He's done that before, but Camilo flies past DRS. That is one of the last moving opportunities on this race. As we're going to turn 1, Camilo is going to try and close that 1 second gap on Blow, try and get DRS on the second DRS straight, which is the last one on this track. And then after that, there's not much of an overtaking move of space. So Camilo really needs to get past on this DRS straight, but he doesn't have DRS at the moment. As Jens is also going to need to get past one of them on this next DRS straight to make sure he can try and keep it his position. Oh, that's Camilo getting a 3-second penalty. We're going to have a quick look at penalties, and that looks, yeah, to me, wherever Camilo happens to Camilo, he will end up behind Jens either way, and he will also end up behind Blow with a 6-second time penalty. The same for Jens, who will end up behind Blow. But it looks like even though Jens could have beat him on track, and same for Camilo, Blow will win on track anyway, and even on penalties will win on track, as it looks like Boomer at the back of the grid has a little bit of an incident, and Camilo spins! That will drop Camilo massively down, as Kijam's going to get past. He's got a 10-second penalty though, and he also, Bubba's going to get past. If Camilo doesn't, Camilo's struggling to get out of the gravel here. please be a safe rejoin. If you're going to ride him on with Jazz, it is a safe rejoin. Camilo is now going to end up in P9 overall, as he's going to get either the penalties won't mean anything now, as Dino gets past Kijam on penalties. So, George Gamer has won your pre-season race, which is very well done from him, being on those tyres for a very long time. Nivea was next, good fight from him, but he just about missed out. Blow was our next very good race, Jens with very good recovery, and Baba, P4 position was his best result in CLR, and P5 was his second best result. So congratulations to Baba for getting a good result for him. Dino Stan, P6, he'll be happy with that, it was very good from him. He'll be hoping for a bit more consistency into the next race, which he can beat, which will be Thursday. Kijam, P7, happy result for him. Obviously, he had a couple of incidents which he'll be happy trying to get out of in towards Friday tier, which will be this time next week. So he'll be trying to, iron them out for next season. Next was Jazz, very good result from him. P8, the consistent man from America, getting another P8 position. After that, I believe it was Camilo, after a spin on the final lap, has dropped him from P4 to P9. But that is all I can remember from the grid. So, George Gamer gets driver of the day. I'm not surprised. I am not surprised indeed. George has said not bad from P12 position, and George, that is not a bad result from a P12 position. Very impressive from you, as there he is on the podium, waving to his fans. I'm sure he's got a lot by now. And then he's got Nivi to the left of him, and I believe Blow to the right of him. So, the Englishman on P1 once again, as always, 3 seasons in a row. Will he make it 4 in towards season 4? Let's wait and see. But George Gamer dominating as always. Nivi keeping up a good fight, and Blow trying his best on the podium. Those are your top 3 drivers, celebrating a little bit of champagne as George is drinking in the background, and everyone saying a little bit of a cheers. So well done to all drivers. We'll continue from when we left off with Camilo getting P9, Boombart P10. MJB having a couple of incidents down to P11, but he did get fastest lap. Racebow P12, good from him after his incident on lap 1. Kuriyama P13, Beagleman at P14, and Kuba P15. Obviously them 2 drivers DNF'd, Kuba at the start and Beagleman about halfway through. So, congratulations to all CLR drivers that competed today. Thank you for coming. It was very nice to see quite a big big, what do they call it? Big showing from you all. So I'm very happy to see you all here today. We'll see you next week. Obviously Thursday tier, I'll be back in the commentary box trying to do a better job than I did today. I will review what I did today and go again. But for now, we will see you next week I should say, on Thursday tier, and also we'll see you on Friday tier with George Gamer and MJB flying the flag for CLR commentary. But for me, that's been me, Callum, and this is CLR out for the first time of the season 4.